Why is it that Raphael Warnock and Stacey Abrams get to go to churches and give stump speeches? Now, why is Jason bringing up homecoming? Thank you for asking. Many of you know here in Georgia, we have a pretty spicy midterm election and gubernatorial election in the midst. Stacey Abrams is running to become governor of Georgia. She wants to unseat the current Republican candidate, the Republican governor, Brian Kemp. And Raphael Warnock is the incumbent Democratic senator who is looking to maintain his position against a pretty surging Herschel Walker. The reason I bring that up is Raphael Warnock graduated from Morehouse. Spelman is where Stacey Abrams graduated from. Pretty interesting, pretty cool. So yesterday I had the opportunity to meet Raphael Warnock. It's interesting to watch how many people were oohing and eyeing and Googling all over him. I wonder what you actually know about this young man and his ideas and such like that. I wonder what you really know about him. Or is it just because he's an alumni? I mean, you can't beat that fact he's an alumni. He's a Morehouse alumni. He's my brother. I do think it's interesting. And I don't think people really fully have unpacked what their candidate believes. Like, I don't know if people do that, because I was watching a lot of young people. I mean, and I'm thinking like, okay, when I was this age, 20, 21, maybe 19, 20, 21, something like that. I'm like, I didn't know my left hand from my right hand. I didn't know up from down. There's no way I was deeply entrenched in politics. There's no way. Yeah, I wasn't. And I just wonder how many of these people really, truly were considering some of the things that Raphael Warnock believes, Stacey Abrams as well. Hey, Herschel Walker and Brian Kemp, how much do you actually consider what these people believe, and not just the party that they stand by or their college or university that they attended? Because I thought it was adorable that where Raphael Warnock's bus was and where his rally was, and they were, making a lot of noise and, waving the signs and everything like that, encouraging people to get out and vote, all that, fill in the blanks. Where they were, just a few yards away, they had set up a Planned Parenthood information booth. I just thought that was extremely interesting to be on a Black college university campus. Okay, we already know they're young people, and they're not believers. So we already know what's probably going on and transpiring. Let's not act brand new. Y'all got Planned Parenthood up in this joint. They had set up a tent. So it was the student side. I just kind of took a stroll over there, and like they had things that kids would be interested in. They had Bumble, they had all these selfie booths and stuff like that, a DJ, all that stuff. And they had Planned Parenthood over there, a tent, giving out information and answering questions about Planned Parenthood. I just thought that was interesting because in eye shot from the Planned Parenthood booth, I could see Raphael Warnock's campaign bus. And he was out there, glad handing and such like that. And I just really wonder how, and not beyond the talking heads and those ridiculous flyers that you get in your mailbox, and besides the ridiculous ads that come on the YouTube channel, I wonder how many people have actually investigated what their candidate believes, teaches, and such like that. Like, I really wonder that, and not just the surfacey stuff, but really dig in. A perfect example is, and I just wonder, like, why is this reality? Why is it that Raphael Warnock and Stacey Abrams get to go to churches and give stump speeches? Like, there's a church that was around the corner from Morehouse that literally had a 2-minute advertisement that they played during their announcements from Raphael Warnock. It was a 2-minute ad. How do you get to do that? I don't understand, because I can't imagine Brian Kemp or Herschel Walker or a Republican getting away with that, and advertising or stumping at a predominantly white church. I just can't imagine that they would get away with that, but they do, and it just takes my breath away. How are y'all getting away with that? So I think it is part and parcel to the fact that a lot of these people don't really know what this man stands for. And hey, maybe you stand for, maybe you do stand for the unmitigated, unfettered murder of babies. Okay. And then if that's what you believe, then that's what you believe. I have a whole ton of problems with that, but that's at least where you are. But I got a feeling that a lot of those people that I watched yesterday fawning over Raphael Warnock and just going in. And again, I understand, because I mean, I'm sure every college, every university has that effect when somebody is famous or somebody's in the public eye and you recognize that they are a member of your college, your university, your sorority, fraternity, your church, whatever. And you do feel some kind of way. No offense there. No offense. There's tons of different scenarios like that. So I don't fault anybody for that, because I can totally understand it. Like you have a level of pride and like, man, this person goes to my school. However, does that ever do you ever bring that down and say, well, let me actually consider and think about and scrutinize what this person actually teaches and believes? So I understand that people feel that kind of way, but I wonder, just my question, do they ever unpack, like, this is what this person believes? Like the idea and the notion that more Black babies are murdered in many metropolitan cities through abortion than any other way, and then more of them are aborted than are born. Why is that okay? Why is that celebratory? I don't understand. But then to be the candidate that runs and you're against racism, or you're against police brutality, you're against white on Black crime and so forth. But what about abortion? Why is that not one of your things that you're against? I don't get it. And for the life of me, I don't understand it. Am I a single issue voter? I think you all know that I'm not. You all probably know that without question. Jason's not a single issue voter, but this is a single issue that's pretty glaring. And especially since Raphael Warnock professes to be a Christian. And not only that, but a Christian pastor. I would think, just kind of call me crazy, but I would think that a Christian pastor would side with Christianity and not the culture and not society. I know, call me just insane, but I would just think that. I met him yesterday. I thought it was interesting. We'll leave it like that. Like I said, I am kind of kicking myself that I didn't take a picture. I was kind of like, man, I should have taken a picture with him. That would have been that would have been a thumbnail. That would have been a thumbnail. But I didn't. I didn't see Stacey Abrams either. I know that she was somewhere on campus. I believe that Stacey, if I understood what my sister was telling me, is that Stacey Abrams was over at Spelman. It was interesting though. So I totally get, again, the I want to say the starstruck or the awestruck when you realize that somebody who's famous or somebody who has notoriety, somebody who has power is an alumni from your alma mater. I totally get it. Totally get it. No shame. I get it. I just wonder if these people have ever thought about the things that they espouse and thought about the things that they teach, especially and they don't teach it primarily, but especially the things that they stand by, because they're professing to be Christian. Stacey makes a lot of hay about the fact that she's the daughter of two pastors. Let that sink in for a second. She says a lot of things that are non-Christian or unbiblical. And I don't understand why Christians are okay with that. Again, and Black people even more than that. Why are we okay with somebody misrepresenting the name of Christ in the name of their political leanings? Now, and that does go both ways. So if you got Brian Kemp on tape stumping at XYZ Baptist Church and he's saying some reckless stuff, then let's call him out. If you got Herschel Walker stumping, I've not seen one video of Herschel Walker in a church stumping. Same thing with Brian Kemp. But you can find, I promise you, if Woke Preacher Clip puts together a montage, it's probably 12 to maybe even 13 or more videos of Stacey Abrams in churches stumping. That's amazing. Amazing. Man, I would, Tim, I have no desire to run for politics. I would not mind being an advisor and giving some insight. And like you just call me, I could talk with you, that's it. Or I'll send you some ideas, that's it. because I think somebody like Herschel Walker should have been at Morehouse yesterday. I don't care if he didn't go to Morehouse. I think he should have been there. I think he should have been there and had and let the chips fall where they may. But let people, I mean, pay to be there, the whole gambit. And because I believe there's a silent number of conservative college students. Not every college student is dipped in the wool liberal. Not every college student is dyed in the wool Democrat. And I think if Brian Kemp, same thing. I know it would have been a hot mess. But if they had just paid to have a tent, have their bus there, and sharing their ideas, talking with the people, glad handing, I don't see any problem with that. Because again, keep in mind, I think that's where that marketplace is where these things are supposed to be fleshed out, not in church. So I do believe that. So I'm telling you right now, if Herschel Walker called me, I would have gladly been saying, like, bruh, you should come down here to AUC. They got enough police down here. So come on down here and let the chips fall where they may. But let people know who you are. Let them see you. I think that would have made, there was some value to that. All right, now, Betty said, I don't agree with the 501c3 deal, but they should lose theirs as they stump for a party. I don't understand it. I do not, for the life of me, understand how churches are able, just the bona fide stump speech. Again, Stacey Abrams stays in churches. I think she's probably in 2, 3, maybe even more churches on a Sunday. It is amazing. And Saturdays. So it is wild. It is crazy. And this is not pastors saying that you should vote for Stacey, saying you should vote for Raphael Warnock, because there's a lot of those as well. But literally, Stacey Abrams standing in the pulpit, standing in front of a church, telling people why they should vote for her against systematic oppression, but for unfettered abortion. Inconsistent much? I don't know. I don't understand it. For the life of me, I don't understand it. And we're not going to even talk, you know what? And we're not going to even talk about how you go to one of the premier Black colleges, and Black colleges, plural, in America, at least, in America, where these students are Ubering and door dashing more money than many of us had our entire semester. Okay. They're just eating it up, going to Uber, going to DoorDash and such like that. And I know this because my nephew's there. But you go there and you literally have told these kids that they are oppressed. You've literally sold these kids that they are lesser than another people group. And they need to vote for you because you're going to make it right that they're lesser. When these kids are more prosperous than any of us were, Raphael included, when we were in school. It's amazing. I for the life of me, I can't get it. Now, if you consider the facts, if you're somebody that weighs out the facts, you look at the Democratic platform, you look at the Republican platform, you look at the Libertarian platform. So you look at all these and you make your decision based upon the facts, and you still come up with Democrat. You know what? At least you weigh the facts. I'm going to disagree with you, but at least you weigh the facts. I don't believe a lot of those kids had done that. I just don't believe it. All right, what's up, Mythologic? All right, a lot of people hold conservative beliefs, but are not comfortable with conservative label. All right, so we're going to talk about that. I have a video coming up tomorrow, I think. Does being conservative mean that you're Christian? Because my heart goes out to these, for lack of a better term, unsaved conservatives that are out there battling against critical race theory, battling against wokeism and BLM and such like that. And they're really making headway. But the problem is they're not Christian. And I think sometimes we as Christians who are conservative have to consider, like, wait, because they say conservative things, should we hook our Christianity to them just because they're saying what we believe as relates to Black Lives Matters, or they're saying what we believe as relates to wokeism and such like that. So I actually have a video coming up. I might put it up a little sooner just so we can talk about it, since I'm talking about it now. I don't want to. So I know that there are people who are Christian, and I think my point in my video was just that your Christianity should inform your conservatism. Your conservatism does not inform your Christianity. So if I'll just use her as an example, Candace Owens. I don't know that Candace Owens is a believer in Christ. All right. So I'm not mad at her or anything like that. I just don't believe that she's a Christian. Because Candace says conservative things, you can be an unbeliever. You don't have to believe in Jesus Christ. You do not have to believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, trusting him as your propitiation for your sins, to know that abortion is wrong. You don't have to. You don't have to believe in Jesus Christ in order to say that little Johnny is born a boy, he should stay a boy. Little Sally was born a girl, she should stay a girl. Period. You don't have to be a believer in order to stand on those things. Those are conservative ideas, okay? However, like I said, you could be an unbeliever and believe those things. That doesn't mean that you're a Christian. Now, on the same note, if you are a Christian, you're trusting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you should know that abortion is wrong. You should know that gender fluidity is insanity. You should know that. And I shouldn't have to argue with you about that, Phil Vischer. I shouldn't have to try to convince you to believe that people who want babies to be born because it is God's command to not murder, Phil Vischer. I shouldn't have to tell you that. I shouldn't have to argue with you and have you nuance it to death and it died death of 1,000 cuts, Phil Vischer. You should be able to understand and comprehend, like, yeah, I'm professing Christ. This should be a no-brainer. This should be a non-issue. Here we are. So I have a video going up about that, and I will put it up, and I'll make sure you guys check it out. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on it. It's not super duper long, but I think it hits the point that we're talking about. What's going on? Unsaved conservatives don't have a firm foundation to base their beliefs. No, they don't. So they get it right by mistake. Truly, they get it right by mistake. Kind of like woke people that are against some kind of that speak the truth one time, or a false teacher that speaks the truth. It's not because you love truth. It's not because you're holding on to it. It's actually by mistake. That's really how it happens. Now, some people argue that they just steal other people's beliefs and ideas. Like, hey, I can let you have that as well. Okay, so Violet says that Candace is not a believer. She is a conservative. I was not able to find anything that says that Candace Owens is a believer. I'm not going to turn this into a deep dive, but the YouTuber Gothics, she is a young woman. I think she lives in New York. She's recently married, and she used to be a hardcore conservative that was not a Christian. And somehow or another, by God's providence, she started investigating the faith, and now she is a professing, gospel explaining Christian who is a conservative. And to me, I feel like you can see a stark difference in Gothic's transformation and her profession of faith and Candace's and what Candace is doing. But again, I do believe Candace, the conservatism is right. It needs to be married to and merged with Christianity, not just running free. So actually, I bring up Gothics in my video too, by the way. And Violet says, yes, Gothics is now professing Christ. Absolutely. I've actually reached out to her. I would love to talk with her and her husband. I agree. I'm mostly thinking about the churches that support Stacey Abrams. They identify as Christian, but they are anti-conservative because their theology doesn't inform their politics. Yes, their politics informs their theology. It's the other way around. It's the tail wagging the dog,